Our star tonight needs no introduction to you. The makers of Hallmark greeting cards are proud indeed to present Ethel Barrymore. Miss Barrymore, we're mighty happy to welcome you to the Hallmark show. We've been waiting a long time for this.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. You know, this is one of my favorite programs.
Oh, and that's very nice coming from you, Miss Barrymore.
I already know that you should turn the greeting card over to see if it says a Hallmark card.
Yes, that's right. Those 3 little words tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. Miss Barrymore, our story tonight was chosen and written especially for you.
That's very kind. I understand it's based on a true happening.
Yes, it is. The Miss Jennings you play is suggested by a real person, though, of course, that was not her name.
And this story happened half a century ago.
That's right. But the original lady is very much alive, and I believe listening in tonight. In fact, she's celebrating her 91st year. But now we'll roll back the years a bit on a little Midwestern town of frame houses and tree-shaded streets. The makers of Hallmark greeting cards bring you on the Reader's Digest radio edition the rich and heartwarming story, Light in the Window, starring Ethel Barrymore.
Forget Miss Emily Jennings. You see, our town of Sparta was different. It was settled by solemn folk who wore somber clothes, went to meeting, and worried about their conscience. That is, until Miss Jennings came. The first time I saw her, I gasped. Her dress was not iron black, but light blue. Her bracelets jingled as she took her place at the teacher's desk.
Good morning, boys and girls. You know this is the most beautiful season of the whole year. Do you, Matthew?
No, Mum.
Well, it is. Every leaf has a little bit of color, as if we were laughing. How many of you children have laughed this morning? What? Nobody laughed yet? Well, it's still early. Billy, pull up the blinds. Way up. Alice, set this little pot of ivy in the sun. We're going to watch it grow. Matthew?
Yes, Mum.
Don't look so frightened, child.
No, Mum.
Matthew, you like to come to school?
No, Mum. Yes, Mum. I don't know, Mum.
Can you keep a secret?
Oh, no, Mum. Secrets are wicked.
Bless my soul, no, they're not. Secrets are wonderful. Shiny little doors inside you that nobody knows about. Would you like to know my secret just for the day?
I guess so, Mum.
You and I are going to have a wonderful time at school, and every day you don't have a good time, I'm going to give myself a bad mark.
I don't know what you mean, Mum.
Well, look, Matthew, right here on my desk is a pile of books. I brought them with me.
Yes, Mum.
I want you to pick out your favorite fairy tale, and after arithmetic and spelling, we'll all read it. Go on.
Well, what is that, Mum?
Don't you know what a fairy tale is?
Is it like catechism?
Not exactly.
That's what my father reads us.
I see. Children, I've changed my mind. I don't think we'll wait for arithmetic. I don't think we'll wait for anything. In fact, I don't think there's a minute to lose. Sit down, Matthew. Sit down, everybody. This is the story of Cinderella and the glass slipper.
Sunday in our town was a day of unrelieved gloom. I remember sitting in our parlor, my stiff black suit and long stockings. The sun made little rods of light through the drawn blinds. Suddenly I heard a curious sound. I opened the shutter a crack and looked out.
Hello, Matthew.
Miss Jennings, Mum.
There's a squirrel playing tag in the chestnut tree. Open the shutter and see him.
I can't.
Why not?
It's Sunday. It would be a sin.
Matthew, do you know something?
What?
I've been all over Sparta this morning, and there isn't one little sin anywhere in the whole sunshine.
Matthew, who are you talking to? I can't talk anymore, Mum.
All right, come to school early tomorrow. I have a surprise for you. That's the last nail. How does it look?
Do you think we ought to nail this up right here on the meeting house wall, Miss Jennings?
I want it where everyone can see it. 4 nights a week and twice on Sundays.
These words look awful bad to me.
Hattie, you stop worrying. If this bothers your conscience, I'll attend to it.
It ain't my conscience. I don't come from this town.
What is it?
It's you. Folks ain't going to take kindly to this.
Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We'll never know until we've tried.
nothing worse than play acting in the whole world.
I'd see my son takes the demon rum before I'd see him up on a stage cavorting and consorting with the devil.
Order! Silence, please! Brothers and sisters, this meeting is an emergency. This afternoon, a sign was put up outside this meeting house. If any of you haven't read it, I'll tell you what it says now. The children of Sparta invite all friends and parents to a school play. Midsummer Night's Dream. That, friends, means the play acting has come to Sparta. Play acting that our forefathers grouped down was a sin.
I say put her out of Sparta.
No, not yet. We want justice done as much as the next, but we're going to take steps. Benjamin Wilcox, I ask you to take down that sign outside this meeting house.
Yes, Silas.
And Clara Granby, you are to remove from the school all copies of this Midsummer Night's Dream.
All the copies?
Everyone. I myself shall call personally upon Miss Jennings.
Better take care, Si. She's as strong-willed as a Morgan filly.
Wouldn't be the first time I've handled a hard-headed critter. And if I can't persuade Miss Jennings, I promise you the school board will. Lights were always out in Sparta by 9 o'clock. But the night after the meeting, all the lights in Miss Jennings' little cottage were burning late.
Man thinks at this hour?
Open the door, Hattie.
Oh, good evening, Dr. James.
Good evening, Hattie. Evening, Emily.
Come in, Jim.
Thank you. Emily, I was at that meeting last night.
I expect you were.
You stirred up a mess of trouble in this town.
I've heard rumors.
It can go hard with you.
Not any harder than it'll go with Sparta.
Emily, I've known you and your family in this county a long time. And I wish you'd married 30 years ago. Heaven knows you had plenty of chances.
You mean things will be easier for me now?
A lot easier.
I can never remember thinking the easiest way was the best way. I promised myself someday I'd come back and teach in Sparta. Here I am.
But you're not just teaching. You're trying to make over the town. You can't. These people are set in their ways.
Jim, there's a little boy in my class. He's no different from the other children, except more so. He smiled twice, Jim. Twice. I'm not trying to make this town over, but I've promised myself that before this year is out, I'm going to hear that youngster laugh whenever he wants to. I'm going to keep that promise. I've been expecting you.
I reckon you have, Miss Jennings.
I know what a busy man you are.
Not too busy to do my duty when I see it.
That's how I feel, too, Mr. Haggard. Won't you sit down?
Miss Jennings, this is a God-fearing town, aiming to bring up its children in the paths of righteousness.
Very commendable.
We're in this world to labor and pay penance for our sins. What are you smiling at?
I'm not smiling, Mr. Haggard. What you saw was reflection from a row of little faces I suddenly recalled.
The elders of this town do not approve of play acting.
So I've learned, but of course, Shakespeare.
It's play acting, and that's final. We don't want any troubles, Miss Jennings. I'm sure this little talk will be enough, but take it as a warning. The town of Sparta will not tolerate the trappings and allurements of the devil in this disguise.
Thank you for your warning, Mr. Haggard. I shall remember what you said. If I scare up the devil in Sparta, I promise you he won't wear any disguise.